guess during the finals week, you're just doing individuals right now.
Right now, yeah, we gave them a couple of days off. Obviously, we have finals all week long. Sometimes, because it's just a schedule they end, but we have finals all the way up till 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So did a couple of days of individuals. We'll get back on the court as a team tomorrow night, and then practice Saturday and Sunday for Monday night's game.
Do you take this, it kind of looks like a quarter pole of the season, sort of, and with this downtime where there are no games for 8 days or whatever it is, spend more time looking at what you've done so far than you would between one game and the next, and maybe tweak moving forward?
No question. You kind of break it up into, they talk about this season or that season. We have a 3-game stretch coming up, and that's kind of, it will be its own entity. And so now you use the first 8 games to evaluate where you're at with some things. It's difficult because the last 5 games, we didn't have any real practice time. And that's one of the challenges, with our roster makeup at this time, playing those 5 games in those 9 days, because the 2 days prior to going to Orlando, you have travel, and then you're practicing in Orlando, so you're out of your element in terms of practice, facilities, and different things. So we had some slippage during those 5 games. So now we need to get back. We need to reestablish some things that we need to do. But as you said, also evaluate and say, okay, these are some areas that we can make some significant strides in, but we need to emphasize those. And I think this is a good time of the year to do that. 3 quality games, obviously, but also, a good amount of practice time. And without school, now you can get them in there for some extra film, extra individual workouts where guys can really hone in on some key areas that, as an individual player, they need to improve in.
What are some key areas that, as a team, you want to improve?
Well, for me, your biggest concern over the last couple games is just the turnovers, and not just turnovers that appear on the stat sheet, just some not as crisp and sharp offensive actions as we had, a week before or 2 weeks before, and that's what, slippage. That's a coaching term, and that's what we had, and now we need to get back where, be it setting it up to come off a screen, where 2 weeks ago guys were doing a good job. Now it's a little, and that's human nature, and you just need to keep drilling that, and we need to get back on that. We did not hit the open man as much as we had previous in terms of just making the next safe pass. Guys open, I would say the ball will find the shot. And, so we just need to get back to, we need to get back to doing some of that stuff and drilling it, emphasizing it in practice, and you usually see it in the game then.
Was it a concern that a lot of those turnovers came from the inside guys?
Yeah, that's a big concern of mine, because offensively our big guys touch the ball. When you face a zone, your big guys have to get the ball. You can't just play on top of the zone. You have to get underneath it and below it. That means your big guys have to get touches against the zone. In our man-to-man, we set ball screens, we throw the ball in the post, and those guys need to, their turnover number is a little alarming, and they need to. They're more than capable of doing a better job of that, and I think they will.
Is it not making the catch, or is it? Can you?
Multiple different things. You couldn't pinpoint one thing. They have a vast array.
Diverse.
Yeah, diverse. They have great diversity in their turnovers, and it's important that both those guys are, at least Robert, DeMarco, and Charles, are upperclassmen. Now, all 3 first-year players for us, but they're good players, and I think that there's been a little slippage on their part, and hopefully they'll tighten it up.
it appeared in the two losses that towards the end of the game, the opponents got on the offensive boards a little too often than you would have liked, I would imagine.
Yeah, on Saturday they got two big transition offensive rebounds, and that in winning time you can only give up one shot. In the games that we won during those stretches, that's exactly what we did. In the two games that we lost, you're exactly right. Multiple shots at the basket in crunch time, and you cannot allow that to happen. Now in transition, it takes even a little more focus and discipline, because you don't necessarily have a guy, I'm guarding you, Rod, so I'm going to cut you out. In transition, it's a scramble, so you got to find bodies and you got to lay the wood on them. And we didn't do that in the last couple minutes of that game on Saturday.
Looking ahead to Appalachian State, they've sort of been up and down. They got a nice win over Virginia Tech. Eves is a guy that really controls the game for them, it seems like.
Well, we talked about it in the beginning of the year. Sometimes when you say you're upgrading your schedule, you go through the schedule and you highlight the Georgias and the Vanderbilts and Northwesterns predict maybe first time in the NCAA tournament, and the Marquettes. But as I said, the thing is, you played Upstate, and they're a team that won 20 games last year, veteran team. You play Appalachian State, new coach, comes from a great pedigree, got some talented players, and in this day and age, all you got to do is take a look at the last 72 hours, what's happening in college basketball. It doesn't matter who you have. If you don't play well for 40 minutes, you got a good chance of losing. And in this day and age, there's good players everywhere.